Hey folks, welcome back to another video of the Flutter Development course brought to you by Newton School. For those of you who are wondering who I am, so my name is Harsh and I am currently working as an intern at Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. I am also an ex-Flutter developer intern at a firm named AppScript where my primary goal was to work on Flutter applications totally from scratch. I am also an instructor and an educator on Udemy and Eduonics where my Flutter development courses have more than 30,000 plus enrollments, so you can check them out as well. So talking about what Newton School is, so basically Newton School is a platform which helps you to learn and develop the skills that you need for your best tech career. There are courses specifically designed for freshers, working professionals and for women with no prior experience in tech. Newton School first trains you for 6 months and helps you become a full stack developer. It is also having a network of more than 300 great companies who hire directly from Newton School. So once the training is complete, Newton School also ensures that you are placed with one of the best companies in the country. There is also a pay after placement program where you don't have to pay anything until you are being placed with a minimum CTC of 5 lakh rupees per annum. They are also having another amazing initiative known as Launchpad where you will be getting some of the courses for free of cost and you can work on those courses on the editor which is present on their website. And not to mention that you will also be getting a certificate of completion after completing those courses. Now talking about what will be covered in this particular video. So in this particular video I am going to cover about a login app UI with validation. So briefing about the same. So we'll be working on developing a login UI at first. We'll be adding an image feature which will be displaying a basic image being fetched from network, and we will be having two fields, one for the login and one for the sign up. And for both the text form fields which we'll be adding, we'll be also having a validation which will be checking if the particular fields are fine and the data being present in them is also fine or not. And we'll also be having a check on the email ID and the password to match, or the username or password to match if that is particularly matching with the demo data or the demo password or email which we are having for the same. So we'll be doing this thing as well. So now let me quickly switch my screen and let's start working on the app. So herein you can see that I have opened the app which we have worked on in the previous video, which is basically the app where I have showed you the implementation of the text form field and how you can add some styles to it and how you can add validators to it. So for this video, now let's start adding the login thing and like validators for the same. So at first what I'll be doing is, as we have created this data input variable, so I'll be changing it to username variable. And I'll be creating another variable of a same type, but for the name it will be having password. And you can see over here that I'm getting some errors for the data input over here for the print statement, so you don't need to worry, we'll be fixing all of these. Herein we have to return the form only. It will be having the key. Next it will be having the padding as we have added in the previous app, and for the column part also it will be having the cross-axis alignment set to cross-axis alignment dot start. But the only difference which will be occurring over here for this column is that we need to wrap this under the single child scroll view, because as we'll be adding multiple text fields inside it, so whenever we are adding a data to any of the text field, then there would be an overflow occurring if we are not particularly adding this. So the screen will be overflowing, so that's why we need to add this over here. Now let's at first add the two text form fields which we will be needing for our app. So later we'll be adding all the remaining part which are needed. So for the first part, what I need to add is a container, and it will be having an alignment of alignment dot center, and after that I can add some padding to it. So the padding will be having edge insets dot only, and from the left and right I'll be adding it to be 10. From the top it would be 50, and from the bottom it would be 10 again. Here it needs to be T as well. And after this padding I have added, let me add the comma over here as well. Now after this padding I'll be adding a child which will be of a kind text form field. So what I'll be doing is, rather than adding a new child, I'll be cutting this text form field from here on, and we'll be pasting this text form field inside this as a child. And now we need to change the data which we have added previously in the text form field as per the need of our app. So at first I'll be changing this data input thing to username, and after that the validator will also be having another thing. So earlier we had a validator which was checking if the value is null and if the value is empty. For now we'll also be having another condition which would be an else if condition, and herein we can check that if value dot length is less than 4, if this is particular case is getting out to be true, then we can return a string which will be saying that username should be more than 4 characters. So this would be like showing to the user that we need to add a username which will be having at least 4 characters, although it should have more. So it will be showing you showing the user with the same value which we have added, or the string which we have added. For the label text as well, changing it to be username and deleting this enter from here. Rest all the things for the border part would be same. We need to remove this suffix icon from here. And for the prefix icon as well, changing the icon to be account circle. Changing this hint text as well, it would be showing that 4 characters or more, which would be signifying that we need to add at least 4 characters inside this particular text form field, whatever the user has been shown. So this was pretty much it for the first text form field. Now let me copy this container and adding a comment for hashtag 2, and pasting the container which we have just copied, and now changing the values. So at first the password would be assigned the value in this container case. Later on inside this we are having value check if the value is empty or the value is null, and herein we will be having 6 characters for the password. So the herein it would be password should be more than 6 characters, and later on it will be returning null. Also we need to turn the obscure text property as true. The reason for turning this obscure text property to be true is because you must have seen in the password field, whenever you are entering some value, the value or the text whatever you are entering is changed into a star icon or the icon which the user which the developer has specified in his app. So that is particularly the obscure text thing. So if you are setting it to be false, then or you are not setting a value for it, then default it would be false and you will be shown with the input whatever you are making. But this obscure text would be making the input to be in a form of the string which you want. You can also add the obscure style over here, like obscuring character, and if you are passing a hash or slash according to yourself, then it will be converting all those string or the characters which you are entering to those obscuring character whatever you have entered. For the label text as well, I am changing it to be password, and for the hint text changing it to be 6 character or more. And I guess this was pretty much it for the both text field which we need to add. And let me just added this particular submit button as well which we have added. So at first wrapping it inside the center, and now the padding would be similar as we have added in the previous video. For this particular condition, like when the form key and the current state would be validated, so what we can do is, let me first change this to username and adding a similar thing for password as well. And herein we can add another condition, like if the form state has been validated. So what we can do is we can check if the username is equals to Harsh and the password is equals to Harsh1. So if this would be the case, then we can display a message. So the message which we'll be displaying over here would be this k-fold messenger part. So I'm cutting that out and pasting it inside this. So whenever the username is equal to Harsh and the password is equal to Harsh1, then the user would be showed with a snack bar which will be saying logged in. And if this is not the case, then we can add an else condition for the same as well. So the else condition would be there, and herein we can show the user with an scaffold messenger or a scaffold message which would be saying that invalid input, please check once again. So user would be displayed with the same, and herein changing the text to login in place of submit. I guess the else condition is also complete and the if condition is also complete. Now let me just add some stylings or the things which will make the app look much better. So at first adding a background color which would be equal to colors.amber, and also adding another widget inside this, like before this first text form field which we have added. So adding that over here, and that would be a container with the alignment set to alignment dot center, and it would be having a child as circle avatar. Herein I need to pass the radius which would be equal to 90 for our case, the background color which would be equal to colors dot transparent, and the background image which would be equal to a network image. And herein I need to pass the string for the image. So I'll be copying a dog image from, I'll be copying the URL for a dog image from Google and pasting that over here. And let's see if the things are taking place over here or not. And the image is being loaded. There it goes. And let me add a text as well. So copying this only for the child, deleting this circle avatar and changing it to be text which will be saying login, and will be having some styles as well. So text style, the font size would be equal to 40, the font weight would be equal to font weight dot w500, the font style would be equal to font style dot italics, and the color would be equal to colors dot blue. And I guess I can add a padding as well around this particular text in after this alignment. So that would also, let me first see, saving it once again, and herein you can see that the login is being displayed. So let me add a padding from the top of value 20. So padding would be h insets dot only top value 20, and there it goes, the final product for what we have created. So now you can see when I'll be clicking on the login button, you are displayed with an error which is saying please enter some text. Now when I'll be entering some of the text inside this, let me add 3 characters at first, or just 2 characters. So when I'll be clicking on login button for now, so you can see that it is saying that username should be more than 4 characters, and I'll be doing a similar thing for the password part as well, and you can see that password should be more than 6 characters. Now when I'm adding 5 characters for username and more than 6 characters for password, you can see over here that it has converted the password characters to obscure text. And when I'll be clicking on the login button, you can see that invalid input, please check once again, because the username is not equals to Harsh and the password is not equals to Harsh1. And one more thing, like we have added the hint text for username which says 4 characters or more. We have added the password hint text which says 6 character or more. So now let me add the username to be Harsh over here and the password as Harsh1 over here. And now when I'll be clicking on this login button, you can see over here that it is showing us with a message or the scaffold message which says logged in. And apart from that, if you are noticing inside this debug console as well, as you are typing or as you are entering a new text over here, so it is also showing us a similar thing, like whenever a value is being changed, so it is showing us an updated value over here. And apart from that, as we have added a conditional statement, like a print statement inside this condition, like if the condition is valid and the current state of the form is valid, so we should be displayed with a print statement or an output which will be saying the output is username and the password values. So you can see that over here as well. So this is how you can add a login screen or a login functionality inside your application. What you can do is herein, as I have compared the value of the username and password with the value of a constant string, which is Harsh and Harsh1. So what you can do is you can fetch the data from the database, and accordingly you can compare the values what the user has entered and the values what you have got from the database part, and you can compare those and easily implement the functionality for the things inside your Flutter application. So this is how I have done it, or I have shown it. So this was it for this particular video. If you have got to learn something new from this video, then make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to share this video and the playlist and channel with the people in your community who want to learn Flutter or are aspiring to be a Flutter developer and are looking for guidance. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well to get all the latest updates related to a new video being posted every alternate day related to this Flutter development course only. So make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Apart from that, comment down below what you have got to learn in this video and what are other things which you want to see in the upcoming videos. I'll be more than happy to inculcate them in the Flutter development course which is going on. So make sure to add those in the comment box below, and also make sure to check out Newton School and Launchpad through the link given in the description, and they are doing amazing work, so make sure to check them out as well. And this was it for this particular video. I'll be seeing you in the next one.